Welcome to my YouTube channel. I am Annie's Wealth. If you like what you learned today, or if you like this episode, don't forget to hit subscribe. All right, we are living in uncertain times. There's a lot of things that are happening in the economy that are changing. That makes a lot of people uncomfortable, and people are asking, and you're probably asking yourself a lot of questions about what to do. How do you set up your finances so that you can make the best out of the season and continue to build wealth? So in this video, I'm going to go over some of the common questions that people like you are asking themselves right now. What do I do about my budget? Prices are out of control. Gas prices are fluctuating like crazy. Groceries are insane. There's so many things right now. I mean, just the cost of living is a lot higher than it was a few years ago. So what should you do? Well, it's time for some budget adjustments. Review your expenses and identify areas where you can cut. I like to do that. I just went through that process. And I think in this season, a good thing to remember is that just because you can afford to do something or to buy something doesn't mean that you should. Just because everything is good, you still have your job, you're still earning money, doesn't mean that you should not take a closer look at your expenses and readjust. Because the best way to not be prepared is to basically act as if nothing is happening, continue life as usual, and then just be hit one day with some bad news that will mess up your finances, right? I know, like, over the past couple of months, we've had so many expenses unexpected, from getting a new washer and dryer, having to repair a bathroom, a lot of car repairs that led to, after 7 years, having to part ways with our car and buying another car, having to replace the dishwasher. So many things happen. So things like that happen to so many people. And it's important to have a solid emergency fund. But in certain times, another thing that you can do is look at your expenses and see where you can cut. So for us, right, we didn't want to use our emergency fund for all of these expenses, essentially use our savings and have to rebuild it. So what we did is we looked at some expenses where we can save, cut to face these charges, right? So some of the things that we did, we've had a laundry service for so long, but now our kids are old enough so that they can do their own laundry, right? And so we were able to save money that way. That's definitely a few $1,000s a year in savings that we can reallocate to all these expenses. In terms of fluctuating gas prices, we went and got an electric car to reduce the gas expenses for the household. Recently, we decided that instead of going on a vacation for the fall break, we were just going to have a staycation that significantly reduced our expenses. And so just think of things that you can do that are already in your budget that you can cut down so you can have more money in savings, or so you can face your unexpected expenses without having to dig into your savings. Also, if you have extra saving and if you have high interest debt, go ahead and pay down some of that debt, right? So you can be in a better financial position and so that you can increase your net worth. Number 2, investing. What do I do about investing in real estate, for instance? Interest rates are high right now, and I don't know, should I buy a home? Should I invest in real estate? Is this the right time? I think buying a home in a safe neighborhood with good schools or a neighborhood that's in high demand is going to be a good investment in the long term, right? If you're still trying to find the right place for you or your family, you can always rent out until you find the right property. That's probably best. This is not the time to rush into something because of the high interest rate, because of the uncertainty around whether there will be a price correction and prices are going to come down a little bit. You can also choose to rent until after the election. I think after the election, we're going to have a clear idea of what is going on with the economy. But right now, because interest rates are high, because we don't know exactly which direction the real estate prices are going to be going over the next few years, buying right is even more important. So don't rush into the decision. But if you look back at the recession of 2007, 2008, a lot of people who were either investors in real estate or just had purchased a real estate property for themselves ended up losing the property or ended up going out of business, ended up in debt because a lot of people were over leveraging, right? So you have to make sure that you don't buy more than you can afford because those people over leverage, they didn't have the means to weather the storm. So make sure that you have enough money in reserve so that you're ready to weather the storm long term. Because some people still came out on top of the recession because they were able to ride through it, right? And actually, when the prices went down, they were able to buy more properties. So just be careful, do your research, and don't over leverage, and you should be fine. Should I invest in the stock market is another question that a lot of people are asking. The stock market has been acting crazy, up and down. And historically, really, the month of October is a slow month for the stock market. So if anything, now is not the time to start buying because there are a lot of opportunities. It's the dip. The stock market is dipping. So if you have extra money to throw at the stock market, just go ahead and do it. But really, when it comes to the stock market, you shouldn't time the market. You should invest throughout the year, whether the market is up or the market is down. And if you do that and keep a long-term strategy, you are guaranteed to build wealth and come on the other side of this winning. So yes, you should absolutely continue to invest in the stock market. And so I'm going to throw in a bonus question, which is, should I pay off my mortgage early? So a few years ago, I was team pay off my mortgage early because interest rates were higher than when we refinance our home. Currently, our interest rate is like 2.2%. So I don't have as much of an incentive in paying off our 15-year mortgage early. But there are certain things, depending on what your interest rate is. Is it above 5%? Is it above 7%? It depends on when you purchased your home. And at that point, you can assess whether it's best to invest the difference or throw more money at paying off the mortgage early. But there's something simple that you can do that I do personally is instead of paying monthly your mortgage, pay bi-weekly. Do bi-weekly payments. So by the end of the year, you're going to have 13 payments towards your mortgage balance. And so if you have a 30-year mortgage, that can easily cut off your mortgage payout period by 6 years. So you can pay it off in 24 years without having to be too aggressive in terms of paying off the mortgage. If you have a 15-year mortgage like I do, then if you do this and pay bi-weekly, you can cut off easily 2 years of your mortgage and pay it off in 13 years. So if you do have extra money and your mortgage is under 5%, I definitely am in favor of investing that difference as opposed to paying off the mortgage early. But again, it depends on your risk tolerance. If you're someone who needs to feel like my house is paid off and I need to feel that as much as possible and I'm okay sacrificing investment returns like in the stock market, then by all means, go ahead and do what's right for you. Let's always remember that personal finance is personal. So you know best what you should do. Today, we talked about 3 common questions that people are asking right now in uncertain macroeconomic times. Should I invest in real estate right now? Should I invest in the stock market? What should I do about my personal finance and my budget? And then I threw in a bonus question, whether should I pay off my mortgage early? So I hope you enjoyed this video. Stay tuned for this next video on the 5 mental roadblocks that prevent you from building wealth. All right. And if you like this episode, don't forget to subscribe. Bye.